We're going to see both those countries here with Germany, the United States, Italy and Brazil. Just a 4-boat race, this one.
So there are bronze, silver and gold medals on offer. So there is Eva Hoff, the German stroke from the Ludwig Hafner Rudderwein Club. Sophia Wolf behind her in the bows. The two Americans, Elaine Tierney in the stroke seats from Westchester, Pennsylvania, and Solveig Imsdal, born in Eutin, Germany. Both women row from Vespa Boat Club. These two young Italians set the world alight, Samantha Premel and Maria Zerboni. And the two Brazilians, Isidora Greve in the stroke seat, and behind her, Luana de Souza Fangues.
They look good in the race for lanes as well, as we see the Italian boat in lane 3, just easing out slightly ahead of the Germans here. Up in lane 1, 45 strokes a minute. All crews just coming out nicely, just that extra lean back you see from the Italians. Quite different looking at the Americans, more sort of much more sort of upright in their bodies, sort of looks almost like they're pulling themselves onto their handles. They're not, it's just by comparison. Oh, and a bit of a wobble there in the Brazilian boat. Oh, look, it's still.
Yeah, just hitting their legs as they come forward, isn't it? Almost
Yeah,
look
I
like
think they're on the buoys as well.
Don't have enough height, perhaps.
Yeah, no, you're right, whether the setup's quite right. Having to make a bit of a correction, I think. Maybe just didn't get away very nicely from the start. By comparison to this, where the boat just looks so solid in the water. Just, you can see horizontally, there's very little movement, but there's also very little movement end on end. So not really pitching. So they come out through the minute. Almost look like there's just a little settle there and lengthen on the minute call.
Yeah, these two women from the Saturnia Club in Trieste, north of Italy.
Oh yeah, we talked about Trieste, didn't we, being a bit of a sailing town.
Yeah. These two American women from Vespa Boat Club, and I'm delighted to have the chance to make amends for my bastardisation of American geography, because of course Vespa Boat Club is in Philadelphia, not, as I said, in Washington, I think, in commentary earlier in the week. Boathouse Row there in Philadelphia, famous old club.
Will that be on the Schuylkill?
I think it would be.
Oh, I'm just getting us in more trouble now, asking questions I don't really know the answer to, but I'm pretty sure it's the Schuylkill that runs through Boston. It's the good head of the river there. It's long. The head of the Charles tends to get spoken about more through Boston, but I'm sure the head of the Schuylkill is another good one people go out and do. Which will be where this American pair train.
Just across from Philadelphia Zoo, so I believe.
So taking a look at the German pair here. Eva Huhoff in the stroke seat. She was an under-23 silver medalist in the double back in 2021. So we're looking now at these Americans.
Very upright at the finish, isn't she, Elaine Tierney? So hardly any lean back at all. In fact, Solveig Imsdal is like that, and I just wonder what their coach, Michael Bartman, has made of that particular style. What do you reckon to it?
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess it's so interesting to compare it to the Italians, because the Italians have such a good lean back, particularly Maria Zerboni in the bow seat. When we get to see her, how she really hangs off the blade. Even the Germans here, you can see the bodies coming through a bit more than the American boat, but because they're behind, you wouldn't say necessarily it's the right thing to do. When you look at the Italians, see how far they are out in front, you'd say, well, surely if you're only weighing in at 57 kilos, like these women are, you want to get that extra lean back going to maximise the length per stroke and maximise the use of the body weight you've got.
Of course, the Italians will be delighted to take the under-23 gold medal this year, to be under-23 world champions, but it's another step up to be world champion. If they can keep this pace going in the third and fourth quarters of the race.
Well, they're doing a good job right now. They would have won that race in Varese, that beautiful lake in northern Italy. and then moved on here to the World Championships and Rechiche.
The Sousafoin, Fagundes and Greve not completely out of the picture. I mean, I don't think they're rowing at the top of their game. There's a few technical improvements I think they'll look to make in the coming months, but they're not miles behind the Germans on that far side, currently in third position.
No, through the 1,000 they were just 4 seconds behind the Germans, so the Brazilians could yet come back on that bronze medal positioned German boat.
You see the green hard plastic grips that the rowers have on these Concept 2 blades that they're using.
Well, these rowers have. You don't have to have the hard green handles, do you, in a Concept 2? Get different kind of handles.
I don't like the green handles.
No, because it's a sort of insert, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it kind of rips my hands apart.
Does it? Yeah.
Switch from.
We're going to show how old school we are. But yeah, no, see these Concept 2 blades, but they've got the black grips, which are a little bit more spongy, a little bit more forgiving.
Like, almost like felt. Yeah, I prefer those grips.
Yeah. I'm surprised. I thought you were going to say you'd go for a wooden blade handle.
I think the amount of rowing I do now, I would go for a wooden blade handle, but the amount of rowing I do now, I think you switch into the felt grips and you don't have any trouble with blisters at all.
Yeah. No, so look, coming out here through this third quarter, the Italians have sort of held their position over the Americans. Germans, again, looking fairly solid for the bronze medal. It's about 20 metres back to the Brazilians. You might see it here. The crew's getting fairly spaced out. Italy up there for the gold. United States for silver. Germany coming through now, and Brazil would have to do something quite special or need someone to have a problem if they're going to find their way onto the podium.
Yeah, they certainly would. As we see Brazilians, the camera at the 1500 metre mark. There are the flying Italians. Boat looks almost too big for them, doesn't it, those two?
Yeah, it does. Looks so big out of the water, doesn't it?
Yeah, these women weighing in at an average of just 57 kilos.
But sometimes you see boats sort of pitching end on end.
Yeah.
And so you need to be sort of smooth on your recovery so you don't show too much of the stern, or too much of the stern, too much of the bottom of the boat to the water. Well, they certainly aren't doing that because that boat looks very big and they're very sort of sympathetic, I will say, on their pickup at the catch of the stroke, at the beginning of the stroke when the blades go in the water. So the Americans look like they're coming back from that angle. The gap's still 20 metres according to my graphic. So now we see this angle. Italy haven't moved away, but they've just held that position that they've got.
There are the Americans, Imsdahl and Tierney. Two Italians there, just 21 and 19. Maria Zaboni on the right of your picture. 21-year-old Samantha Bremel, 19 years of age, coached by Franco Catano from Trieste in Italy. Come up to the finishing line and the outside their world's best time that they set earlier this year, but they won't worry about that. Delight, Zaboni's arms go into the air. USA take the silver. That will be rich reward for them. An American medal, the first here at this 2022 World Rowing Championships, and another medal for Germany. And they sit their heads back in the boat in delight at that bronze medal, the Germans.
Yeah, they do fall back in the boat there, but the Italian flags are waving. Confirmation there. Zaboni and Pamel taking that gold medal. Silver to the American pair here. And the Germans
They are loving it.
Really pleased with themselves. Good on them.
Yeah.
And that lightweight women's pair.
nejúspěšnější a nejlepší ve své kategorii na mistrovství světa.